You are watching 2+ U Nevada. Joining us this afternoon, Marie Baxter with Catholic Charities Northern Nevada with a huge announcement. Today is a big day for you.
It is. So after about 6 years of planning, we have finally relocated the St. Vincent's Food Pantry to a larger space that has a client choice pantry, and which mirrors what we have on Moana and Sun Valley and Winnemucca. And it's a game changer, but it is also day one, so it's lots of action.
So let's talk about this, because if anybody knows that 4th and Valley location that you have, it's always been, for lack of better terms, crazy busy because there is so much need. But at that location, aside from the food pantry, you have the thrift store and you have the dining room. And so now you were just explaining to me that food pantry is actually no longer going to be at 4th and Valley, and it's solely at this new location.
That is correct. So we were able to move from roughly 7,000 square feet to 25,000 square feet. And the front half of the big warehouse is a client choice pantry where, you know, you get your shopping cart, there's so much dignity, you pick and choose what you want, but it has enabled us to expand more fruits and vegetables, more meat products, more dairy products. So it's more like coming to a grocery store than our traditional 4th and Valley, which was here's your box, and it may or may not have been things that worked for you.
So this is crazy because I actually have toured 4th and Valley, and I mean, you had a big warehouse of food. So all that food has since moved as well?
100%.
So there is no food, well,
outside of the St. Vincent's dining room.
Right, outside of the dining room, but for people to get their needed supplemental food, they now go to, what's the location?
So it's 435 Eureka Avenue. It's about a block down from our big location at 4th and Valley, and it's really fabulous. You come in, it's set up the same. Essentials closet is also moved there, so the food, non-food items like diapers and clothing and toiletries and all those. So it's a one-stop shop in a much larger location.
Is the donation drop-off there now too?
No, it's still, so what we are doing with our existing building at the corner of 4th and Valley is we're extending the thrift store. So it's still where we accept donations. It's going to be fully retail on the bottom floor of the 4th and Valley big building.
Yep.
And then we'll have St. Marguerite Support Services is still there. So our case management, social work, largely because that's just a good location for them. But what really drove this was two things. One, we needed to move and have more thrift retail space because the community has been so generous. But on top of that, we had limited hours at the corner of 4th and Valley because of the thrift store. So now in the new Client Choice Pantry, 5 days a week from 9 to noon, 1 to 3, and of course, all days on Fridays as well. Whereas we were half days during the regular time at 4th and Valley and then only open on Friday.
Wow. Okay. And then also today is the first day, and you've been out there since 5 o'clock this morning, if not earlier than that. So we know that today is going to be kind of the crazy day, but what do you want this to look like? Will people still line up outside? Is there parking? Kind of talk about that component.
So our goal is to be able to sort of, spread people out, more days, more hours, and it's the same high quality items, whether you come today at 9 o'clock in the morning or you come Thursday at 2:30 in the afternoon. So we're trying to get people to understand, like, you don't have to be there first thing in the morning. Don't line up in the cold. There's plenty of food for everybody. Parking is complicated. We're in that downtown innovation zone. So there is no parking anywhere in that area for any business. So there's lots of street parking. People can, walk over from the, the various places. We're asking them, be kind to our neighbors. Don't park in front of their locations. But now that we have 6 hours a day, 5 days a week downtown, and we're still close to the bus station, people should be able to come at a more convenient time. Plus, they can still go to Moana, they can still go to Sun Valley. So they don't have to come to downtown Reno to get the same quality foods.
What does this look like for the volunteer experience too? Because the square footage that you just said, that's a massive growth. So, and is it filled with food?
It's full of food and non-food items for the essentials closet. It's astounding. Like within a week, I think Carlos had the thing full.
Wow.
So we have lots of food, and we moved our freezers and our refrigerators, but our volunteers are loving this. And so what they do is each volunteer has a station that they sort of work within the Client Choice Pantry. So depending on your family size, this rack you might be able to pick 5 items. This rack you might be able to pick 3 items. items. The freezers, you might be able to pick up to 6 items, whatever it is based on family size. So we have volunteers stationed at each of those places to help make that experience more accessible and friendly. But my favorite part is when you have families with their shopping carts and their kids are in them, their kids don't even know they're in a food pantry. It feels like a grocery store, and that's very uplifting.
It really is, because right now, for anybody having to pick between paying a credit card or paying a car payment
Or
or
rent.
paying their power or rent, don't get me started. You know what I mean? And to have this as a place, you know, there's no shame in asking for help and getting that help.
And we know we're going to have about 25,000 people statewide that are going to lose their SNAP benefits with all the changes that have been coming to SNAP. We've been talking about on your show actually since November 1st. So there are going to be more and more people leaning in on food pantries than we've ever seen before. So the more dignified, the more accessible we can make it, you know, the more we're going to make sure people get the food they need.
And it's amazing that you've been planning this for 6 years. Like, this is something that you have wanted for 6 years, and now you take a look at the need that has just been, it's been a wave of need the past couple months. The timing couldn't be better.
Yeah, I think there was some divine intervention.
Yeah. And with that, Marie Baxter with Catholic Charities, thank you so much for joining us this
Thank you.
afternoon. Thank you for what you do.
Thank you.
You're watching 2+U Nevada.